Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Master Mains PYQ program of NEXT IAS. Today we will discuss a question from disaster management, the only question from this area that was asked in UPSC, CSC, GS3 mains. If we talk about disaster management, UPSC has given a weightage of 10 to 20 marks to this particular section, and often 1 to 2 questions are being asked in your GS3 mains from this particular area. Now if we talk about the question of the day, it says dam failures are always catastrophic, especially on the downstream side, resulting in a colossal loss of life and property. Analyze the various causes of dam failures and give 2 examples of large dam failures. It was a 10 marker which was supposed to be answered in 150 words. Before we jump to the answer to this particular question, let me briefly discuss the approach to this particular answer. Since it is a 10 marker and I have limited 150 words, so in my introduction, either we will start with some data related to dam failures in India, or we can also define what is dam failure. In my body part 1, since it is a statement based question and a context is being given, so we will very briefly highlight how they are always catastrophic. Then in my body part 2, we will jump to the main demand of the question, that the causes of the dam failures. In my next body part, we will highlight the next demand of the question, that is 2 large dam examples. Finally, either we will give a way forward or some optimistic conclusion. By this way, we can basically highlight all the demand of the question, that too given my given word limit. Dam failures. Dam failure refers to uncontrolled release of water from a reservoir by a dam because of some structural failure or deficiency in a dam. The collapse of a dam does not only risk the human life but also the ecology, economy as well as the property of that particular area. India ranks 3rd globally after China and USA with 5,334 large dams in operation. So this is a very big number, and basically these dams, they help us to maintain the water security of our country. Dams as well as reservoir, they help us in maintaining the economic as well as agricultural growth. Why so? Because they help to store somewhere around 300 billion cubic meter of water annually. Dams failure are catastrophic downstream because they release a massive volume of water, which can even lead to flash flood, often leading to widespread destruction around us. According to a United Nations report, Aging Water Infrastructures and Emerging Global Risk, over 1,000 large dams in India will reach the age of 50 years in 2025. According to the same report, somewhere around 32,716 dams, that is almost 55% of the global dams, are in just 4 Asian countries, that is China, India, Japan and South Korea. And most of them will reach the age of 50 years by 2050. One more very shocking fact that was highlighted by this particular UN report was that almost 3.5 million people are on the risk if Mullaperiyar Dam in Kerala in India were to fall, because this dam is in a sensitive area as well as it is showing some structural flaws. But the management of the 2 states, that is Kerala and Tamil Nadu, is in a contention with each other. So basically this can be all about my introduction. We can cut it short and just either pick a definition or some data to go ahead. In my body part 1, we will talk about how it is a catastrophic event, because it is a threat to life. How it is a threat to life? Because wherever there is a dam failure, it will lead to flash flood and the first victim will be the local people. Next, it is a threat to my property. Why so? Because all the low-lying areas, they get submerged in the water and it basically disrupts the daily routine, the daily property of the nearby area. Next, it is a threat to environment also. Why so? Because your marine life, your biodiversity, everything is affected. Your vegetation, soil, basically too much of salinity, it affects the long-term survival of the soil. So everything is affected. Fourth thing that we can talk about is displacement of communities. Why so? Because it basically forces the local people, the surrounding people, to displace, to basically be the refugees to the nearby area. So by these 4 points, we can justify that it is a very catastrophic event. Next, if you have to talk about the various causes of dam failures in India, the first cause is, not just in India but across the globe, the first cause can be structural deficiencies. So either there can be certain deficiencies in the construction or in the maintenance of the dam. We have certain examples before us. The Banker Dam failure in China in 1975, as well as there was a dam failure in MP in 2022. Both were the reasons of these structural deficiencies only. Next cause can be your hydraulic issues. The famous example is the Tito dam failure of USA. What is there in hydraulic issue? That either there is excessive water pressure or basically incapacity of spillway. So that also leads to a dam failure. Third can be your foundation failures. The best example of this foundation failure is the Vajont dam failure in Italy. What happened there? That the foundation of the dam itself was a failure. Why so? Because when the dam was built, the foundation was not that strong. It basically affected the stability of the dam. Fourth can be your climate change. Basically changing precipitation patterns as well as the increasing strengthening of these extreme events. It is also affecting the dam stability. Fifth can be your seismic activity. Basically earthquake is another major factor which is affecting this dam stability. We have the perfect example of Koyna dam failure in Maharashtra. That was a major reason of this seismic activity only. So these were certain causes. Next we can also talk about erosion and piping. Erosion and piping. This is another big factor. What is this erosion and piping? Erosion is the too much erosion of soil as well as piping. Piping is when water seeps out from the tank. It also leads to dam failure. So these are some causes of the dam failure in India as well as across the globe. And while you are writing this content, always make sure that you are making best use of the examples, because that is where your value addition will take place. Now when we go to the next part of the question, which asks us to highlight various examples of large dam failures. If we start from India, then we have the example of Machu dam failure in Gujarat. It was, I think, in 1979. Machu dam failure. Basically what happened, this flooding and too much of precipitation, it basically eroded the walls of the dams. So this was another very large failure. It killed thousands of people across Gujarat. Next you can talk about is your Krishnagiri dam in Tamil Nadu. It was in 1967. That was also a very big dam failure. It basically created havoc across Tamil Nadu. So these are two very big large dam failures in India. If we talk about globe, we have the very recent example of 2023 where two dams collapsed in Libya. And this was such a big dam failure that it created too much of destruction in the eastern Libyan part. I also discussed when we were talking about the causes in the structural deficiencies that Bankyo dam failure in China in 1975. It was one of the biggest dam failure ever in the history. Why so? Even you might have heard about a movie Dam Triple Nine that was also made on one of the dam failure only. It was such a huge dam failure that almost 250,000 plus people were killed in that particular dam failure. So if you have to quote examples of particular dam failures, we will quote one example from Indian perspective and another example from global perspective. Now if we talk about what are the steps that have been taken by the government in this regard, that Indian government too might be taking some steps. So the first step that comes to our mind is DRIP strategy. That Indian government in financial assistance from World Bank, it was using this strategy of DRIP, that is Dam Rehabilitation and Improvement Project. This was basically to enhance the safety and protection of the of a dam and to enhance its operational efficiency. This DRIP phase 1 was basically finished in 2021, but then we started with DRIP phase 2 as well as DRIP phase 3. Another second step that was taken was Dharma app portal. The main aim of this Dharma app portal was to take help of artificial intelligence in ensuring the dam safety. Third will be this Dam Safety Act of 2021. It also gave certain guidelines and certain agencies were formed as part of this act, and these were certain steps that has been taken by the government to basically minimize the the havoc that has been created by dam failures in India. So this was all about my body part. Basically it was a 10 marker and I had limited 150 words to go by. Now we can finally conclude. We can also give some way forward. That what will be my way forward? That first will be strict enforcement. What is strict enforcement? That whatever are the laws that are governing, that are managing the dams in India, those should be enforced strictly. That if there is a structural flaw, that if a dam is getting aged, if there is repairs that is being needed, so that should be done immediately. There should not be a delay in that. Second should be invest in this infrastructure. What is invest in infrastructure? Basically, it talks about upgradation. that you need to upgrade. If a dam is reaching a particular age bracket, then go for the upgradation. Don't wait for the havoc to happen. Third will be environmental consideration. That while building a dam, you need to take the environment of that particular area into consideration. That's why we will see that the number of dams, the new dams has reduced to a large extent in the recent years, because we find that if we are building a dam in the Uttarakhand, we will see that there is a local protest by the local communities of that particular area, because that environmental consideration must be taken into notice. Otherwise, there will be a issue, and then we will make a committee or work on that. At the end, we can just talk about our optimistic conclusion that the Dam Safety Act of 2021 is a step in the right direction. There is a need that always prevention is better than cure. So the Indian government, as well as the governments all across the globe, with the help of local communities, should take urgent steps so that any particular havoc in the future can be prevented. Also, that disaster preparedness should be there, so that if an event occurs also, we can basically mitigate, or we can take all possible steps at the urgent possible level. That was all about this answer. Hope you liked the content. We will meet in some other video. If you like the video, you just press the like button, comment over it, and you share it with your other friends. Thank you.